Hey guys, I'm Brad Browning, and as a breakup coach for over 13 years now, I'm often asked by my clients, what will make my ex change their mind about breaking up? And it's a good question. And maybe you're wondering the exact same thing. What can you do or say that will help convince your ex that breaking up was the wrong choice? What factors typically actually have an impact on their feelings about the potential of getting back together? Well, there's really a number of things that do tend to shift your ex's opinion on the breakup and often make them decide to take you back. So that's what we're going to be discussing right here in this video. So number one is missing you. Now, this one might seem obvious at first. You're thinking, well, obviously if my ex misses me, they're more likely to want me back, right? And yes, that is exactly true. But the problem here is that most people don't realize how much their own actions can control how much their ex misses them or doesn't miss them. Because really, when you think about it, there's only one thing that can make your ex miss you, and that is your absence from their life. So the more absent you are from your ex's daily life, and the sooner you build that distance after breaking up, the more intense and powerful their feelings of missing you are going to feel. And this means that every single time you contact your ex after breaking up, every time you respond to their text, answer their call, or see them in person, you're actively reducing how much they're going to miss you. And really, that does make sense, right? The more you vanish from your ex's life, the less they get to see you or talk to you, and the more they're going to feel that sudden void that creates. So it's absolutely critical that your ex misses you if you want them back. And while simply, reducing how much you see or talk to your ex can help them miss you, completely disappearing from their life entirely, as soon as possible after the initial breakup, the more they're going to miss you. And that means that, if you really want your ex to miss you, and again, this is the single most important factor to making them change their mind about breaking up, the less you can be a part of their life. Now, as I've talked about many times before in my past videos, this is one of the core benefits to applying a period of no contact. So by engaging in a month of no contact as soon as you can after the breakup, you're treating your ex to the cold turkey breakup experience and ensuring that you maximize those feelings of missing you. Now, I recently made a video to help you determine if no contact is appropriate for your current situation and how to employ it properly. So click the pop out in the top right here or click the link in the description below to watch that next if you're considering going no contact or if you're wondering if that might be the right move given your current scenario. Now let's move on to number two, which is feelings of FOMO. So as we just discussed, making your ex miss you is a key factor in getting them to regret breaking up. But another thing that will help them change their mind is FOMO, or fear of missing out. So in other words, if you can make your ex feel like they're being left out of the fun and the interesting things that you're doing after the breakup, you're going to make them second guess whether they made the right choice ending the relationship. Now, I know this might sound a bit lame on the surface, but I promise you that inciting a bit of FOMO in the back of your ex's mind can actually be an extremely effective way to make them reconsider the breakup, especially if you combine this with the other tactics that I'll be covering in this video, including no contact. Never underestimate the power of FOMO on the human psyche, because I've honestly seen its effectiveness time and time again with my coaching clients. So how do you make your ex feel FOMO? Well, the easiest and usually the safest way is by leveraging your social media to post about, the cool or interesting or fun things that you've been up to. So, if you're planning on going camping in the backcountry next weekend with some friends, well, be sure to post some amazing photos of the weekend on your Instagram or Facebook when you get home. Tag your other friends in the photos, subtly mention how amazing the weekend was, and make sure it looks like you and everyone there had a blast. And when your ex sees this kind of post, they're not going to be able to help but feel a little bit of FOMO, even if they'd never admit it to themselves. And the more you do this, and the more amazing the experiences you're sharing on social media or with the world in general, the more effective this is going to be in causing your ex to have second thoughts about letting you walk out of their life. And beyond social media, you can also leverage FOMO by just talking up your fun and exciting post-breakup life with some mutual friends who are likely to share the news with your ex. Or even if you've already finished a period of no contact and you're back talking with your ex again occasionally, you can tell them a story about something awesome you've done recently and really talk up how amazing it was. Now, it's important that you never go overboard with this FOMO tactic. It's really effective when it's used correctly. In fact, I guarantee you it's more powerful than you're probably thinking right now. But it also does have the potential to backfire if you go over the top with your social media posts or you do it in an obvious way. You need to be, subtle and act natural, ensuring that none of your posts or your stories that you tell your ex or your mutual friends are too exaggerated or extravagant to actually be believable. So do use FOMO whenever you can because it will help change your ex's mind about breaking up. But do it carefully and subtly without, being out of character or being obvious about it. And now let's move on to number three, which is unrealistic expectations. Now, this one unfortunately is not something that you have a ton of control over outside of employing a period of no contact like we already discussed. See, a lot of people have very unrealistic expectations about what their life is going to be like after breaking up. Maybe it's because they've watched, too many Hollywood rom-com movies. Maybe it's because they simply haven't been single for a long time. Or maybe they've just underestimated how much of a positive impact that you actually made on their life when you were still together. But either way, this is a great thing for your odds of getting them back. Basically, if your ex did have an unrealistic idea about what things would be like after breaking up, if they thought they could keep you around as their backup plan, or as a friend, or even in a friends with benefits type situation, or if they thought that they would absolutely love being single and all the freedom that brought to them, well, when your ex realizes that the reality of the situation is a lot different from what they expected, that's going to be very difficult for them to accept. So if, for example, they thought that being single meant they'd spend every night of the week at the bar, meeting new people, enjoying some one-night stands, and that doesn't turn out to be what happens after the breakup, and instead they're going home from the bar alone every night, or their friends just don't want to join them and they end up sitting home alone sometimes, well, this is going to be painful and eye-opening for your ex. So to sum it up, really, the more your ex built up the idea of being single in their mind before the breakup, the more they romanticize the thought of their newfound freedom, then the more likely it is that they're going to face a difficult reality when they actually do spend a month or two without you around. Now, as I did mention earlier, going no contact, especially if you start it right away, within the first few weeks after the initial breakup, is really only going to magnify these feelings for your ex. If they thought you'd stick around and be their friend, if they thought you'd still be available to chat on the phone for hours every night despite being broken up, well, when you go contact and you deprive them of that opportunity, it's going to make them even more likely to feel let down and disappointed by the reality of their post-breakup life. All right, and number 4 is jealousy. Now, you probably guessed that this would be on the list, and you are right. Jealousy, at least when it's used correctly, is a powerful way to make your ex regret letting you go. Now, in my X Factor program, I call this strategy covert jealousy because I really do want to emphasize how important it is that any attempts to incite jealousy are extremely subtle and under the radar. So if you make your actions too obvious and your ex sees what you're doing, or even gets a sense that you might be intentionally doing things to make them feel jealous, then it's going to have the opposite effect. However, if you do employ covert jealousy exactly the way I described in my program, then it can be a very effective way to force your ex to second guess the decision to break up. Because simply put, no one likes to learn that their ex is dating again a mere days or weeks after a breakup. And for many people, even hearing about their ex hanging out with attractive members of the opposite sex is enough to stir up some serious jealous thoughts. Now, if you want to learn more about how to safely and effectively use covert jealousy to help win your ex back, click the pop-up banner in the top right here and watch my video that I posted on this exact topic. In that video, I explain when and how to use jealousy to maximize its effectiveness, and I share some tips on how to do this even when you don't want to start dating yet, or even when your ex has blocked you or you're still in a period of no contact. Again, watch that video when this one is over. I'll link to it in the description below as well. For now, let's move on to number 5, which is a sense of urgency. So with this one, there's quite a lot of overlap with the 4 things we just talked about, but I do want to mention this one specifically because a lot of people overlook this aspect. So when I say a sense of urgency, what I mean is that you need to make your ex feel as though they only have a limited time in which they'll be able to change their mind and take you back. In other words, you need to make it clear to your ex that you're quickly moving on, that you won't be around for long, so if they have any doubts about the breakup, which, if you do the other things we've talked about in this video, should be the case, then they know that they need to act fast and ask you to take them back before it's too late. The more urgency you can make your ex feel, the better. So, by going no contact, by hanging out with members of the opposite sex and letting your ex see that happening, by casually dating again, getting ahead in life and working towards your goals, or just being social and doing lots of fun and interesting things without them. And most importantly, by not being friends with your ex and letting yourself become their backup plan, you're forcing them to realize that they need to act fast before you find somebody new to replace them, or before you simply lose interest altogether because you're busy living an awesome, exciting life. Because if your ex knows that you're always going to answer their phone calls, that you'll always be eager to hear your phone buzz with an incoming text from them, and if they know that you're always going to quickly say hell yes the second they suggest getting back together, then there's no sense of urgency for them. They'll feel like they can continue to test the waters, enjoy being single, and not have to worry about losing you for good. And that's not the kind of comfortable situation that you want your ex to be in if you're hoping to get them to take you back. Instead, you really need them to worry that any day now you could find somebody new, or even just say nah if they suggest giving your relationship another try. Obviously, this probably isn't the truth. You probably are desperate to hear them say, please give me another chance, but you can't let your ex know that. You need them to feel rushed, as though the clock is ticking and every day they wait to take you back is another day closer to you disappearing from their life completely. And finally, number 6, you making positive changes to yourself or your life. So let's end here with one of the easiest ones to actually implement, and that is just to make positive changes to yourself or to your life in general. I'm talking about, any kind of change you make to yourself, a new haircut, new wardrobe, losing weight, that kind of thing, or any changes or advances you make in your life generally. like getting a new job, making new friends, learning a new skill, picking up a new hobby, winning an award, that kind of thing. And when it does come to physical appearance, I think it's pretty obvious. Your ex is going to notice if you've lost 5 pounds and put on some muscle or got a stylish new haircut or whatever. And while this may sound, pretty superficial, the simple fact is that if you're willing and able to change yourself for the better, that's going to have a subconscious impact on how your ex thinks about you and your potential as a romantic partner. And beyond physical changes, any positive steps you take in your life. Like I said, things like getting a promotion at work, learning to play the piano, joining an evening class and making new friends, that kind of thing. Those things, on the surface might not seem like they'd have any impact on how your ex sees you, but they really do. And not only does this kind of thing show your ex that you're not a desperate loser sitting at home all the time, it also has 3 other benefits. First, it proves that you're a successful, ambitious person who's actually going places in life. Second, it gives you plenty of interesting things to talk about and share with your ex once you do begin reconnecting, which can actually be really helpful. And third and finally, it's almost certain to boost your self-confidence and your self-esteem, which on its own is going to make you more attractive to your ex and to the opposite sex just more broadly. So, as I talk about extensively in my X Factor program, you can't ignore the importance of getting ahead in your own life after the breakup. Kickstarting your social life, getting ahead in work or school, making physical changes to your appearance and your daily routine. These are honestly going to make your ex second guess whether breaking up was the right choice, and they're also going to help you in life more generally, whether you get back together with your ex or not. Now, for more tips and psychological strategies like this, now is a great time to take a few minutes and go to my website, breakupbrad.com, and watch my full tutorial video for free. Now, in that video, I share 3 critical facts that you must be aware of if you want any chance of getting your ex back, as well as a number of other simple tips and strategies that you can employ starting today to improve your odds. Again, that video is free and you can watch the full version at breakupbrad.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe and leave your questions for me in the comments below. I promise I read every single comment and I do my very best to answer as many as I can. So don't be shy. Just be sure to subscribe and like this video first before you leave your comment. Thanks for watching. Good luck out there, guys, and I'll see you again soon.